Hey guys, welcome back. Today I want to go over a knife I just recently picked up. I was perusing through Blade Binge late the other night, and this Kizer Bugai popped up and immediately captured my attention. I've actually owned this exact same model a few years back, but I had to return it due to it failing to lock up properly. However, I've always been intrigued by this knife and its blade shape, so seeing the low price and the already included aftermarket titanium clip already installed, I decided to jump on it, and boy, am I glad I did. On paper, this is a pretty typical knife from Kizer, as it features their now standard 154 cm blade steel and micarta handle scales. Fortunately, I really like 154 cm due to its performance and ease of sharpening, and Kizer also does a really nice job on their micarta. This is coming in with steel liners, and they are milled, allowing it to have a weight of 3.6 ounces. A quick look at the dimensions. We can see it comes in with an overall length of just over 7 inches and a blade length just over 3 inches at 3.11. So if you needed to be under that 3-inch threshold, unfortunately, this is just a bit over. To deploy the blade, there's a large thumb hole here instead of my preference of thumb studs. And I found the best way to deploy it is actually with a reverse flick using your middle finger. If you've watched any of my other previous videos, you may not know I'm not a huge fan of reverse flicking, but it works pretty well on this one, and I don't really have any complaints on the action. The detent was a bit hard at first, but after playing with it for a few days, it's definitely softened up a bit more. And the most common complaint I've seen surrounding this knife is over its action and kind of the stiff detent. But after some knife oil and a break-in period of kind of some fidgeting, it functions much nicer. The blade has solid lockup thanks to that steel liner lock, and it's pretty easy to actually get access to it. As I mentioned previously, I'd actually ordered this knife a few years back, and I had to return it due to that liner lock failing to properly move over and lock the blade in place. In fact, it was so bad the blade actually dropped on my thumb when I was trying to disengage the lock, and I suffered one of the deepest cuts to date. Fortunately, this one specifically here locks up fine, and I haven't encountered any issues like in the past. This is definitely a thick fella, yet it still maintains a pretty slicey edge. The tip is not pokey or sharp really much at all, and instead it's almost kind of chisel-like. So with this broad tip, it allows it to be super durable, and the belly can still handle long draw cuts without issue. With such a thick blade, it feels like this thing can really handle some tough work, and I find my thumb rests perfectly on that jimping on the spine, really locking in my grip. I wouldn't really put this on the same category as cold steel for like a hard use knife, but it is up there in my opinion. From the factory, it comes with a standard deep carry pocket clip. However, the owner before me replaced it with a nice titanium one from Kizer. It is a nice deep carry pocket clip with recessed screws, so no issue getting in and out of the pocket. I've never really used a titanium pocket clip before, and I believe these run around $15 a piece. So it's not something I would typically put on all my knives. However, it is cool that this listing came with one already installed, and it just adds a pop of color to an otherwise pretty basic knife. There's also a small lanyard hole near the pocket clip, should you wish to add a lanyard. Looking at this knife and its specs and kind of features, nothing really about this knife is truly groundbreaking or different from the other knives in my collection. This just screams as a typical quality intro knife from Kizer, yet I find myself drawn to it. It's compact, clunky, robust, yet altogether pretty simple and effective, and it does it all with no fuss. It's just a knife that does its job very well. It takes a fantastic sharp edge. It's pretty satisfying to deploy and just feels great in hand. Though I'm not totally in love with the handle and its kind of curves, I really like this big belly of a blade, and I think it's just an overall pretty attractive package. You can currently pick this model up for around $60 online, or there is a 3V version for around $90. I was fortunate enough to get this one for $40 shipped, and for that price, I'm extremely happy with it. Kizer continues to make excellent knives for the money, and this one again is no exception. It's a really cool blade shape, really nice action, kind of a funky design, and it all leads to it being a great EDC knife, and I'm pretty happy to add it to the collection. Thank you so much for watching, and do not forget to subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one.